Hello and welcome back to another episode of the On The Slab Horror Show, the show we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why do we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. For our guest here who was originally from Ireland, should get the reference. I have told him off screen anyway, but he is an Irish actor and writer who is doing some great things on the indie scene in the States. This is actor and writer Dylan Hughes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to come on. I know it's mid afternoon for yourself at the time of recording here, so or mid evening, sorry, mid evening. So, as I says, you're an actor, a writer from Ireland over in the States. How did you get started over there, or how did you end up over there?
So to get started over here, I was 19 years old. I got into acting classes, and I watched Kung Fu Panda, and I fell in love with Jack Black, and that was started my acting career per se. It went from classes to voiceover to theater to short film to feature film to now the biggest production I've done, which is The Boy from Below. So from in 8 years, I kind of went through a lot and all that kind of stuff. So
We'll get to that boy from below now in a few minutes. I mean, you mentioned Jack Black there. How could anyone not love Jack Black?
he's a
I mean,
genius when it comes to it.
like legitimately genius and a voiceover genius as well. Like I'd love to see him play a legitimate bad guy, like a proper bad guy, just to see.
Oh, I love to see it too. I think people wouldn't take him seriously because it's Jack Black. Sadly, I think he could do it, but I think people was just like, "Oh, it's Jack Black. He's some like short, cuddly little guy, and no one's gonna take him seriously." But it's like, no.
So do you remember they done it with Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia, and people hit the fucking roof. They done it with
Oh yeah.
Jim Carrey in Number 23, and people hit the roof, and you're like, they were brilliant. Like those three
Oh,
movies are fantastic.
hmm.
Um, but obviously that's a different set of actors to yourself. Um, as you mentioned there, the boy from below. There's a lot of former guests involved in that production. Um, obviously we have my boy Chenny Morrow in there, good friend of the show and record holder for appearances. Shout out to Cheney. Um, who else was on it? Um, who else was there? There's been a fair few behind the scenes people as well, but that is shaping up to be one of the biggest indie productions I've seen in a long, long time. So how did you end up being involved with Tori Jones and Code Air?
So I forgot to mention this part, but I kind of knew Tori a little bit before the Boy from Below audition. We were kind of like friends, or not, or you want to call them acquaintances. And then he posted, and originally it was supposed to be Scream for Summer, and then he changed it into The Boy from Below, and then there was like three characters auditioned for, and it was like the boy, because this is also before it was turned into a reboot of the Wicked one. So I could there was the killer, there was another character I forgot his name, and then Big Dan. And then I asked him like, who do I resemble the most in your mind, and he told me to audition for Big Dan. And upon reading his sides, reading his character description, I kind of fell in love with him because he's the funniest fucking character I've ever like could play, and I've never played a comedic relief before. So I guess that kind of turned me on to the character of like I want to play him because I've never done it before. And I submitted my tape, and within like a few hours after, he contacted me saying I got the part. So, and then we
Nice,
went from there.
nice. Obviously Tori Jones. For fans of the show, I've harped on about his other movie, Phantom Fun World, who starred former guests Celeste Blandon, Elsie Holt, and Jake Kapranica, who was involved as well, which was immense. That was actually the first movie I watched in 2024. Um, he actually he sent it to me so I could watch it. It was fantastic. So I'm expecting huge things out of this production. Obviously, you have taken Leah Voisey from Terrifier 2. Um, Spencer Madison's in there, who's just in everything, and crushing it in everything too.
Right. I actually got to go to the premiere at Horror Hound, Indiana for Phantom Fun World, and it was good. I enjoyed the premiere. That's actually where I first met Tori in person. Before that, we were kind of like phone tag buddies or whatever. Um, and then to go into Leah Voisey and Spencer Madison. Me and Spencer are like this, really close, and they're always killing it. She's working nonstop at hard, so she works hard. And Leah, bless her heart, I actually love her too. She's super talented, and getting to work with her on the set for Boy from Below was also an honor and privilege. Same with Channing Morrow, same with Dee Wallace, Felissa Rose, and uh, Tommy Lee Wallace, and all them. Now, I actually have, I can't like tell you what I've seen, but I've seen like stills and whatnot from The Boy from Below, and it looks really good. I don't tell you what scenes or what it is, but I've seen stills,
I
and they're
have
really good.
I've seen a few stills that Tori has put out himself.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, at least if he puts it out now, we can get in trouble for that. Um, but yeah, I've seen it, and some of the stills look fantastic. Um, like there you have two or three legends that are involved. Tommy Lee Wallace obviously directed the 1990 miniseries It, um, Halloween 3, and things like that. He's actually going to For the Love of Horror this year, and I'm so sad I won't be able to go.
Oh,
Oh,
but
so sad.
yeah, no, like getting to see and work with the legends like Tommy Lee Wallace, because um, so Cujo was the first horror film I watched. Ever.
Ever?
So that ever. So D Wallace is like always been a special place in my heart. How Rob Zombie. I'm sorry. John Carpenter Halloween. That's my favorite horror film. So the fact that Tommy Lee got to work with him on those was really cool as well. So like every horror icon that I kind of like it's like looked up to in horror film was on this set, and I got to work with them, and it was really cool.
Nice. I was
I'm sorry.
I was with Felissa Rose as well, who's just absolutely ridiculous in everything she's in. She just crushes everything. Obviously, arguably probably most famous for Sleepaway Camp.
Mhm.
Um, but like I recently seen her. Like I have made friends with a lot of indie stars, and Cheney and one it was one of them in late checkout that I waited and waited and waited for so long, and she's so good in that as well. Felissa Rose is. Actually, Kamara Cole is in that as well.
I love Kamara. That's like one
Uh,
of my besties ever. Like, if Kamara, you're watching this, hi bestie. She made best friend bracelets for the set of Boy from Below.
Nice, nice. Yeah, she was phenomenal in late checkout as well.
hmm
I don't know whether you've had the chance to see it yet or not.
I haven't seen that yet, but I have a funny story about Felissa. The first time I ever like encountered her, I'm not gonna say meet, encountered her was is my first day of acting on Boy from Below. There's a certain scene we walked into, it was like a big party or whatever, and I walk in my wardrobe, and we're going to our blocking, and I guess they were already filming something or rolling. I just hear Felissa, "What's up, fuckers?" And she's on top of the bar with, and she was just like having a good time, and I'm like, "Who the hell?"
I like her.
Right? Yeah, I was like, "Wow, I like her. She's cool." Oh, that's Felissa Rose.
Nice.
All right, great
And
woman, I
then
love her.
obviously you mentioned Dee Wallace as well, another legend. Especially in the horror scene as well.
hmm
Do you know what? Thinking about it, I haven't seen Cujo since I was about 10 or 11. I must be due a rewatch of that soon.
Yeah, I was starstruck kind of when I saw D. I tried not to show it because I don't want to be that giddy fan or whatever. But like, I 100% like my brain and heart was going 1,000 miles an hour when I walked into the room and saw her. Uh, I introduced them like, "Hey, I'm Dylan Hughes." And she's like, "Oh, who do you play?" I'm like, "Big Dan." She's like, "Yeah, I'm D Wallace." I'm like, "Nice to meet you." But in my brain, I'm like, "I know who you are. You're fucking D Wallace." Like, come on, like in my brain, I'm just racing and
Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. You're Dee Wallace.
I was like, "I know who you are." But no, D, she's super sweet. I love D. She's awesome. I got to work with her too. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like I'm hoping it's gonna make it out soon. I don't know when it's due, but I know it's gonna take a lot longer to get to me because Ireland don't do fucking anything in good measures, especially not in the indie scene in horror. So unless you can throw a good word in for me and get me an L screener or something, but
Anything for the Irish fan. I'll do what I can.
because other than that, I don't think I'll ever get to see it. Um, but yeah, the production on that looks great. Some of the stills I've seen that Tori's put out has just been they look fantastic for a picture. Could just picture be a picture, but like the way whatever way it's coming out just looks unreal. Um,
Yeah. So our cinematographer Cody Newton, but is probably the best cinematographer I've ever worked with. Him, I forgot the other guy's, our B Cam guy. I think it was like Ace or Race was his name. Both of them working together on that production, like the cinematography, the angles, and how it looks was phenomenal. I mean, we had an entire all-star crew, but the way Cody shot it was so immaculate, and that's what you guys been seeing. So like, you can expect that for everything because that's how Cody works. Cody does not stop until he gets what he wants.
that's the right way though, isn't it? Because his name is the one that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tori Jones is the director, but it's like the cinematography. If you do a bad job, you're not going to get picked up again. You know what I mean?
Right, 100%. And anybody who looks for a cinematographer, I highly recommend Cody Newton.
So yeah, like that cast looks absolutely phenomenal. Um, again, whenever that makes it out, hopefully not too far away. Um, Boy from Below is going to be unreal. I see by your jumper there. You're repping some Rabbit Season merch.
Yep.
Obviously a name we mentioned already in Spencer Madison. Um, and yourself involved as well. I seen her. She ended up was it in one of the film fests for it. I don't know whether you were there with her or not, but
Oh, yeah, we both went to Taste of the Dead. We were nominated for.
yeah, obviously Rabbit Season has made it to Days of the Dead festival, and I seen she put up a picture, and I was like, "Have you seen me?" And it's like a missing picture. But I was like, it was a great touch. But yeah, I see Rabbit Season made it into the Days of the Dead festival. So how did that go about, or were you there with it as well?
Yeah, so me and Spencer went. We got nodded for 5 awards. We won only one, but it was best micro short, best cinematography. We got nodded for. Cameron Hansen, our cinematographer, did a great job. We had an all-star cast for that one as well. And the missing poster thing you're talking about. So we had a green room there for just like filmmakers, like to kind of unwind from all the hectic convention vibe. And every filmmaker that like had a film in there had their face on a missing poster in the green room.
Nice,
You
nice.
walk in, it's just like, oh,
Because yeah, I seen it, and I think it was on Instagram. She put up the story, and it was like, "Have you seen me?" She's like, "What is going on?"
she forgot the poster. It's in the back seat of my car. I'm praying I don't get pulled over and a cop sees it and then thinks like I'm some weirdo, you know?
Oh, you are 100% getting lifted. But yeah, no, I'm expecting big things from that as well. As I said, she's crushing everything she's doing at the minute. So um, I'd be expecting big things. I think some of the makeup I seen from some of the behind the scenes was brilliant on it as well. Um,
Yeah, I think Spencer did her their own makeup for that. And we're actually we got selected as a horror hound.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's some good going. Um, so like you're obviously keeping busy anyway, and you've been busy since you kind of went out there, which is always a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your favorite production to do that you were involved in? Now I'm throwing you on the spot.
I've got so many filmmakers that are about to get pissed off at me.
This is it, folks. I asked the hard hitting questions here.
um, oh man, oh man. Can I just hit the leave button real quick? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Oh
I'll
man,
tell you
that's
what. I'll
tough.
tell you what. I wouldn't answer that just in case. Um, what was some of your favorite memories then to be better? Because I don't want to get you in trouble with anyone in case they want to rehire you.
Right. Appreciate that. Some of my favorite memories. The ones that stand out, I guess, the first one is the cast house of the boy from below. Like the main, we call ourselves the Lake Rats. Me, Spencer, Leah, Anthony, Cameron, Raleigh, Kamara, and Jack. You know, we all stayed in the same house together for like 2 weeks, and we bonded in a way that was so unique that will always hold a place in my heart. That's one of my favorite memories when it comes to my film career.
Nice. I found that on a lot of indie productions when I've spoke to multiple people from the same film, say, where they're like, yeah, everyone's just bonded. Like horror seems to be the closest knit films that you can get, really. Like everyone's happy to be around each other, everyone's delighted, they're all friends, and then you hear them all staying in contact.
Yeah, we have me and Spencer and on the entire main Lake Rats cast of The Boy from Below. We have a group chat that we text in all the time. Like we always check up on each other. Hell, Leah sent me a freaking care package of a little monkey and a note.
What a random thing to get. I
Right.
actually we actually got to see her perform Clown Cafe live over in For the Love of Horror last year when she was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was over at Manchester Con. Yeah.
Right. Also, Leah got me SpongeBob underwear. There's a whole backstory to this. I'm not gonna say what it is, but Leah got me SpongeBob underwear. So Leah, thank you.
Nice, nice. You can put in a good word for me and see if we can get her on.
Oh, I'll text her when we get off if you want.
um, but she has some voice as well for singing.
She's a phenomenal singer.
Mm.
I've listened to a lot of her cover art. Come on, their cover songs. Sorry, and some of her originals. She's very, very good.
Yeah, like as I said, I heard her live doing the Clown Cafe. Now it's the Clown Cafe, and I've heard it in Terrifier a million times, but hearing it live hits differently.
Right.
Yeah, that was some con though. That was.
We actually went out to like, a Mexican restaurant on the Boy from Below when we had like an off day or whatever, and they had karaoke night or something, and she just got up there. I don't know what song it was, but she started singing, and I was like captivated. I'm like, you can sing so good. What?
Fuck.
I'm like, fuck, Leah. I have no talent, I guess. Shit.
um, Obviously she's going back to do Terrifier 3.
I have no idea. I didn't really ask about Terrifier 3 a whole lot. She might be. I have no idea. But we won't know until the film comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's gonna be one of those things, isn't it?
Mm,
Obviously, probably the biggest indie horror movie probably ever to come out of indie cinema.
definitely one of them.
Terrifier
Yeah.
2 was, yeah. Phenomenal. But like, what is your goal for your next 5 movies? What are you kind of aiming for? Staying in horror, moving around?
Definitely moving around. I'm actually working on one. I'm writing one right now. It's
Oh,
completely not even horror. And I would like
oh.
for that to be my biggest production because it's got so much like story and history to it. And I know you'll appreciate the film.
Is it Rocky?
No, it's a timepiece history of
Oh,
these people right
nice,
here.
nice.
Yeah. So it's actually written. I'm just touching it up, and then I'm gonna start pitching it out. I think it'd do well. I don't want to say much without giving it away, but it's definitely based on our
Nice,
history.
nice. I definitely want if it gets picked up, let me know and I'll check it out for sure.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure, 100%.
Now, what you need to do is film it over here.
That's what I want to do. Actually, it'd be. I know it. I if I tell you this hint, you might get it. I'm pretty sure you will. It would be filmed. More, a big part of it is filmed in Wexford.
In Wexford.
Yeah,
But
Wexford
like as
County.
in, oh, I know where Wexford is. I don't live too far from there. Um, but I'm trying to think what's Wexford like. The only thing I can think of was Saving Private Ryan was filmed down there.
Well, no, like in Irish history, what happened in Wexford? Like what
Oh,
battle?
okay. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yep,
I
yep.
was
There you
like,
go.
what the fuck is he talking about here?
But you get it now. It's that it's around that time frame actually.
Nice, nice. I'd be interested in that.
Mhm.
I'll drive down even to see it.
If we can film it in Ireland, I would love that. I'll just throw on my heavy Irish accent instead of this American one I got.
You mean the fake American one?
No one will know what my real accent is.
Just arrive back with a Canadian one. I mean,
Oh,
that's
so
that's the
sorry
best.
there.
Eh? Eh?
Hey, hey.
Uh, I better not actually because one of my favorite guests of all time was Canadian. He
Oh,
might kill
really?
me. Yeah. C. Ernst Hart, who was obviously the giant baby from 13 Ghosts and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, Don't want to piss the Canadians off. He's a big guy too. He killed me. Um, but no, like that's impressive. So obviously that's one thing. Are you planning to do any more horror along the way, or just see what happens?
I mean, I'll do any genre really. I'm a well diverse actor. I can do. I've done horror, comedy, drama, tragedy, thriller. So I can do any genre. I like horror because it definitely is one of those communities that's very supportive of the genre. Eventually, though, I my time in horror will become dwindled, where I might do only one every year, other year. I definitely like more historic or sci-fi historic timepieces. That's what I want to get into, like character actors and things you just wouldn't usually play.
Nice. Yeah, like I've said it time and time again on this show and or the game show that we do, Retro Table Recast. There's like as long as you can make it, you go to the well as many times as you can. But for certain types of people, you can only play that character so many times before like either the looks run out, the body shape changes. You know what I mean? You get too old to play that kind of character. So
Yeah.
like it becomes harder in horror because you've got to adapt to doing other stuff. Like
Hmm.
you couldn't get away with playing a high school kid now.
Absolutely not. No way.
Do you know what I mean? Where for say maybe from 16 to 22, 23, you see people that now you see some of the females that are still able to do it. But like you'll eventually lose that. So like you have to adapt and change.
Right. I think some actors struggle with that. Is like once they kind of no longer fit the mold of what made them, they didn't take time to really like figure out what they want to do next and how they can improve their craft to go on to the next part of their career. And they kind of find into this pit where it's like you're typecasted and you might get a small role here and there instead of going on to the next genre and exploring a different part of your career that you never thought you would and having fun doing
I think the greatest person to show, well, not even the greatest person, I say that thing, but like recently one of the biggest people to do it in Hollywood to change his style so much was Justin Long. Um and how he's adapted into the horror world from
Yeah.
being like the skinny like college kid to in Jeepers Creepers to an out and out sex pest in Barbarian to
Hmm.
Goosebumps. You know what I mean?
He definitely adapted well to where his career was going. Yeah.
Yeah, like that, and that takes an awful lot. So I like hearing that you're not just gonna sit and go, I'll go to the well 100 times playing the jock character. Great, you're getting paid for it, but like there's only so much you can do before it gets boring.
Right.
So like hearing that you're gonna move into other things now will be good to see along the way, and hopefully you make a big wage doing it.
Right. Well, that's what this film's for.
Yeah,
This film will do it.
that's the one to make my money.
Well, money, but also just get, because there's not many Irish. If you really look at history of film, there's not many historic Irish films, and if it is, it's just big. They throw an Irish character in there to make it look stereotypical, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and it's worse. Like even when you see some of the high budget American ones, like even some of the rom-coms where you picture Ireland as being like in the 1800s, even though it's like modern day.
I literally had someone ask me if Ireland has air conditioning. I'm like,
We don't we don't though. Like let's be fair, there is air conditioning, but we don't have it.
right, you have it, but do you?
Air houses are built to keep it warm. In the
Right,
States, they're
it's more
built to get cold.
right, but that, it was kind of funny to me. And then they asked about Netflix and they asked about Amazon, and I shit you not, they thought we still use like horse carriages, stuff like that.
Funny that you say that. There was three horse and trap carriages just going down the road outside my house about 2 hours ago.
We live in Wexford. That's
I don't live in Wexford. I live in Bray.
horse. You know, go to Dublin, you won't find that.
You
Oh
do
my bad.
find
I'm
that.
sorry.
Um,
Let me yeah. Man.
yeah, that's just a different story. But so like obviously you've had quite an extensive career so far in the space of 8 years, spanning. Let me just get the actual number: 21 credits on IMDb, 21 acting credits, which is fairly impressive in 8 years.
Thank you.
So you're obviously doing something right. I'm not sure what it is, but you're doing it.
I'm just doing my thing, and if people like it, great. If they don't, then well, shit. Sorry. I don't know.
Someone else will like it.
Right. For one person who doesn't like me, there's like 10 to 20 others that do like me. So it's like, all right, well, you're
I mean, like it is what it is, isn't it? You're never going to please everybody, but all it will take is you to be picked up by, say, one big director. Not saying that the likes of Tori Jones isn't a big director, but like say being picked up by a Hollywood production,
right.
something small to tip it over, and then once it starts, it snowballs.
Right. And that's where I'm at in my career. And I'm just waiting for that one Hollywood guy to look at me and go, you know what, here, just take this one line character and then boom, boom, boom. That's all I'm waiting for at this point. It's just that one shot.
Quentin Tarantino, call me up.
I'll work for Quentin. I mean, I'll stay in.
I'd work for anybody, but like
Yeah,
I know
that's a yeah.
like if you had a choice of director, who would you like to work for if you had to pick one?
Like in any genre of film.
Yeah.
Ooh. I do. I love James Gunn.
Ooh.
I really want. I would love to work with James Gunn. I feel like the way he directs, from what I've heard in interviews and articles and all that, is a very very good way of directing. I would love to work with him. Like on a create. If I could pick the genre, definitely more of a sci-fi creative piece than like let's say a documentary.
Okay. But like you pick. I'll tell you what. Yeah. Apart from things, so you pick the genre and the director.
If we're gonna go, okay, so I'm actually gonna go back a little bit. If there is like a complete sci-fi adventure, James Cameron. No,
Okay.
I'm just if it's like an action film or like an action, I'm trying to think of the other word, action thriller. I'm stuck between Gunn and Michael Bay.
Well, let's be fair. If you're picking Michael Bay, you're getting a whole load of explosions, a
I
whole
yeah,
load
I
of slow motions, and you're gonna get a whole lot of Will Smith with no top on. And it's funny that you picked Michael Bay because I only watched Bad Boys 2 today.
there we go.
Yeah,
but but yeah, like those three directors alone, Michael Bay, James Gunn, and James Cameron are like Steven Spielberg. I also do fancy him a lot.
that would
I,
that would be it'd be him or Tarantino for me if I was an actor.
those two, I now it comes to Tarantino and Spielberg. Those are like the top. If you had a Mount Rushmore of directors, in my opinion, they're on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Tarantino is the most polarizing director you're probably going to ever see.
Mhm.
Um, but you can understand why a lot of people don't like his movies. But he's just a class act,
Oh yeah, very professional, very good at what he does. And, I mean, you don't like his movies, that's fine, but
and
it
he's
doesn't.
he's a legitimate film fan.
So that's yeah. This is about Spielberg actually. So my acting coach was out in Hollywood for like 20 years. He did some stuff like on the Martin Lawrence show, Dexter's Laboratory, and all that. He he had an audition for a Spielberg film because Spielberg picks his cast. You know, he goes to the final round and he picks the ones per role, whatever.
Yeah.
And my acting coach did something completely different than what he's been. He did the entire every round of the auditions, and he got destroyed by the casting director. He got destroyed by his agent, his coach, his manager, and he got like ridiculed. Spielberg called him saying he got the part because he did something different. That was something he did not expect, and he got to work with Spielberg, and he said it was the greatest experience of his life.
What movie was it?
God, I can't remember. It was like some kind. It was like it was. There was It was in a hospital. He was like a doctor. No, I'm sorry. It was a detective outside of a hospital. I'll find out the movie later and I'll message it to you.
The do you know what you're saying? Spielberg does his own casting. The single worst piece of casting he's ever done in his life must have been casting um the Ma in Jaws. You know, Alex Kitchener's Ma. She's about 80.
Yeah,
She's legitimately about 80.
I don't know what he was doing with that one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
his film. He can do what he wants with that, obviously. But I'm like, I didn't see it.
It's still one of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh yeah,
Um, but yeah, like, no, for me, I think it'd be Spielberg or it'd be Tarantino.
easily.
Uh, Scorsese, I think, can do a lot of types of movies, but gangster movies were his big thing, and they're kind of dwindling away again.
Yeah, gangster films kind of come and go. They're
Yeah,
never like consistent. Like on the, it's not like how it was in like forgive me, decade the '80s, '70s, and '90s. You know.
yeah. Well, see, the actors have changed really. There was some of those Pacino, De Niro, Pesci were all so good for that role. Ray Liotta, do you know what I mean? They were
Hmm.
all so good for that kind of role, but there's not many like that now that are gonna just stick to that. So
Right.
maybe pick a role and stick to it.
I actually worked with one of the actors from The Sopranos before.
Oh, nice, nice. I never watched The Sopranos, but
I did when I was younger, very vaguely, but I heard it's John Fiore. I forgot what character he played, but no, I recognize him. I'm like, oh, cool.
nice, nice. It's impressive. But like, you're getting to work with these people. Obviously, we mentioned Tommy Lee Wallace. Cheney Morrow's a huge name in the indie scene, who I actually said 2 years ago when Terrifier 2 came out, I said that David Howard Thornton was the hottest thing in indie horror. Last year, I said that it was Cheney. Cheney was just phenomenal. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously with Malum and stuff like, along the way, he was just for me he was the hottest prospect to do last year. Um, I know I've been a bit out of touch with indie scene this year. Um, but like it's you're getting to work with these people that have such a name attached to them, and like obviously with Cheney, he uses LC quite a lot. The two of them are in stuff together. Then you have others there along the way as well. You know what I mean? So getting to know these people is a great aspect and a great help for you.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's in many ways too. It's like one like watching and learning their craft because as an actor or as a filmmaker in general, every time you go on set, you always take away something to help mold your craft. And I learned from Cheney, I learned from B, Tommy, Felissa. uh, I'm probably forgetting some names right now. There's one I'm missing, but anyway. And then John and all them. I always learn from them as like an actor, and also they're just very cool, laid back, kind people. And it's kind of awesome knowing that these bigger indie actors or actors in general that you watched on television You meet them and they're like just like a normal human being, kind of like a reality check in a way. It's like, oh, they're just people. But it's definitely helped me in my career getting to know and work with them.
But I mean, like, I'm sure there at the end of the phone that if you needed a piece of advice, like, well, Cheney definitely, I'd say, would be if you needed a piece of advice, unless you pissed him off. But like things like that, like,
No, last right. Well, the last time I talked to Shady, we hugged, so I'm hoping I didn't piss him off.
no, yeah, like getting information and picking stuff off that people have been doing it for probably a lot longer than you have, will always help. Even if it's one small thing that you take with you from every movie, is going to benefit you somewhere along the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Um, but as it says, obviously the boy from below is the big one that you're waiting for. We hope that the script you're after writing or the pitch you're after writing for the movie is going to take off, and we'll get to see that hopefully being made over here.
If it premieres in Ireland, I will fly back over there and I'll watch it with you.
Yes, might be the small, it might be the smallest cinema in Ireland, but we're going.
Let's push it for Dublin. Fuck it.
No one wants Dublin. Um, but Dylan, I know it's taken a number of times to get here, but here we are. And as we come to the end of the episode, I just want to say thanks again for coming on, and taking the time out of your day. I know it's been rescheduled on 5 or 6 occasions, so
Well, thank you for having me on. It was awesome talking to you. I hope I can come back on later on after The Boy from Below releases. Maybe you can have multiple people on at once. Maybe.
absolutely.
Let's get Cheney for a fourth time.
Cheney's the king. Cheney can come back when he wants. He can host the show if he wants, and I don't give up that duty quite
He's
so
like, here,
easily.
Cheney. Just leaves.
Yeah, just mic dropping
Right, right, right.
out the door. Good luck. Um, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the boy from below, and I'm looking forward to following your career now as far as it goes, and see where you end up. I tend to keep a close eye on former guests, so that sounds creepy as fuck. But
It's fine. It's fine.
obviously, boy from below will be out at some stage this year, and no doubt you'll be hearing about it on the show at some stage. Um, but folks, I will finish this the way I finish every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.
Woo!